You know, when we think of human resources, we often picture a support department, right? Kind of separate from the main action of the business. But what if HR could be one of the main strategic drivers of a company's success? Well, today, we're diving into the role that does exactly that, the HR business partner. So let me ask you this. Does this feel familiar at all? Your company is growing like crazy. Everything's moving a mile a minute, but your people processes, hiring, keeping your best people, performance reviews, they just feel stuck. It's a super common growing pain. And the answer isn't just to hire more of the same old HR. Nope, it's about bringing in a totally different kind of role. And that's exactly where the HR business partner, or HRBP, comes into the picture. Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this, we need to understand the journey HR has been on. It's this really cool shift from just managing rules and policies to actually shaping the future of the business. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. What in the world is a strategic HR partner? And what makes this role so fundamentally different from what we usually think of when we hear the letters H and R? So, here's the textbook definition. At its core, an HRBP is like a translator or a connector. Their entire job is to look at the big business goals and then build a people plan that actually helps the company get there. This really is the key. It's a complete mindset shift. An HRBP isn't the person you go to for paperwork. They're a strategic advisor who sits at the table with leadership, helping to solve the company's biggest challenges. And you can really boil the difference down to one word: proactive. See, traditional HR often reacts to problems as they pop up. An HRBP, on the other hand, is always looking ahead, anticipating the business needs and building the people strategies before a problem even starts. So for example, let's say people are leaving the company. A traditional HR approach might be to just, explain the exit interview process and hand over the policy document. It's reactive, it's procedural. But an HRBP, they look at that same problem and ask a totally different question. They're not just managing the process. They're digging in to figure out why it's happening and how to build better systems to keep their best talent and boost everyone's performance. And because of that proactive mindset, their day-to-day work just looks completely different. We're not talking about administrative tasks here. We're talking about huge strategic projects, like figuring out who to hire next year, redesigning entire teams, leading the company through big changes, and even transforming the company culture from the ground up. Okay, this all sounds really good in theory, right? But what about the bottom line? What's the real business impact of having an HRBP? Just look at this number for a second. 23%. What do you think that could possibly be referring to? Well, get this. A massive meta-analysis by Gallup found that companies with effective HRBPs see 23% higher revenue per employee. That is a staggering number. It draws a direct, undeniable line between the strategic HR role and a company's financial success. And hey, the impact goes way beyond just the money. A great HRBP is like this secret ingredient that makes the whole organization run better. You see improved efficiency, smoother transitions during change, and a team that's way more aligned and performing at its absolute best. So, for all you HR pros out there, this probably sounds like a pretty exciting path forward. So, let's talk about it. What does the journey to becoming an HRBP actually look like? Well, the journey usually kicks off in a more general HR role. From there, you move into that HRBP position. And once you're there, it's a direct pipeline to senior leadership roles and even into the C-suite as a chief people officer. Now, building that kind of experience, that can take anywhere from 5 to 20 years. But to get there, you're going to need a toolkit that goes way beyond traditional HR skills. We're talking about deep business knowledge, serious data analysis skills, a consultant's problem-solving mindset, and a real knack for leading change by building fantastic relationships all across the company. So what if you want to start thinking and acting more like an HRBP right now? Where do you even begin? Well, let's walk through the first strategic steps you can take, starting today. Here's your game plan. First, get obsessed with learning how your company actually makes money. Then, get really good with data, specifically the people metrics that connect to revenue. Start shifting your mindset from just following the rules to actively solving business problems. Go out of your way to build relationships outside of HR. And finally, you have to become someone who champions change, not someone who resists it. You can start building these foundations right now. Because when you strip it all away, that's what an HR business partner really is. They are the bridge that connects the incredible potential of a company's people to its most important business goals. So the real question is, are you ready to start building that bridge?